I did something at my house over the weekend that made me think about you, Gavin. I have some planters outside of my house, and the plants that had been in them had died. So I was like, all right, I need to like dig them out and figure out what's going on in there and put some new plants in. Well, I went out there, and you'll see why I was thinking about you in just a minute. I went out there and I started digging up the planters. They're pretty big, and I realized that I guess the reason the plants had died is they weren't draining water anymore. So this giant planter was filled with this really goopy, thick mud, and the water had probably been standing in there for several weeks, if not a couple of months at this point. So when I started digging it out, it smelled like either open sewer or hot garbage. And I just started gagging. It was like one of the worst smells I've ever smelled in my life. Just the stagnant water in this goopy black
and it's
mud
all hot
sludge.
Too.
Yeah, and it was like 100 degrees outside while I was doing it, and I was just like scooping it out and like trying not to breathe it in, or like gagging as I'm digging out these giant planters.
Dude,
and
no.
it's still out there. Like I took all of the dirt out to try to get it to like dry in my front yard, and it's still wet. It's still mud out there. It's been out there for like 2 days now, and it's just like black sopping wet mud. It's disgusting.
It's crazy what standing water will do. I love that you associate stinking gammy mess that makes you gag with me.
That's what I was waiting for, the connection there. Yeah.
No, Gavin has a very sensitive gag reflex, and I figure if you were anywhere near me while that was happening, you probably would have thrown
He's
up.
the go-to for when stuff like that happens, of what you think about first.
Well, when I lived, go ahead.
I had another trash story, which is definitely not equally as gross, but I don't know who the fuck does this, and I want to find this motherfucker and ask them why they did it, because it was so mean. But our trash got emptied last week, and then it rained here. And because the trash got emptied before we could take our bins back, the bin filled with water. And I guess someone later that day was walking their dog and decided to bag up their shit and put it in our empty, water-filled trash can.
Ooh.
So there was just shit floating in water in a hot garbage can that we had already had emptied from the trash people. So now we don't know what to do with this shit. We just have a bag of shit, and we also missed garbage this week. It's just been a catastrophe.
Yeah.
You just make a delicious cocktail out of the water, then you put the shit back in there.
How do you feel about a passerby leaving their dog poop in your trash? Are you guys protective of your trash?
I'm fine with it.
I'm okay with it if the trash has not been collected yet. If it's literally an hour after the trash was collected and you're putting your dog shit in my now empty, clean trash bin, then I have a problem with it.
Yeah, but how do they know if it's been taken
It's just the first...
They're opening it.
It's going to be open.
Away.
Yeah, it's going to. I mean, we don't have trash bins, but like when I walk Benson or whatever, like there's a bunch of houses that do, and generally when the trash has come, it's an open bin because the machine lifts it up and then slams it down, and it's just like an open empty bin. But that's the only time that you can do like the fadeaway jumper with it.
Yeah.
So
I'm
totally fine with it because I don't want people leaving their dog shit. I'm fine with any time. It doesn't matter if my garbage has just been picked up or not.
What? So you want that dog shit?
I would rather it be bagged up in my trash can rather than left in my yard.
I think it's it also depends on where your trash cans are. Like, are yours always outside? Because we store ours in an indoor area where other things are.
Ours are always outside. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Trevor's in chat too. It's empty and full of water, and you're literally just throwing your shit in there. Like, what?
That's fucked up. That's the extra fucked up part. The fact that it's filled with water, because then you have to empty it. You can't just leave your trash can filled with water.
But you
because then it's like if we dump it out, then the bag of poop is just on the floor, and now we're littering because we dumped our trash can out with someone else's shit.
But surely the most frequently you've seen shit has been in water.
it's true.
Yeah, but then you flush it. This you have to pick it back up off the ground and put it back in the trash can. It's not even your shit.
It's
someone else's dog.
Shit.
Right. It's their responsibility to take care of, and they just make work for you.
To me, you close the lid, you move on with your life. That's what's the opposite of paying something forward? That's just you go, I'm sorry. Maybe you put a note and you go, I'm really sorry to the trash collectors or whatever. And I go, I'm sorry, there's some water and then someone threw some shit in here, but I try to get as much out as possible.
I don't know why bins seem to be fair game. Like, that's my bin. That's the bin I pay for. Get your little grubby hands off it.
It's fine.
Don't put shit in
It's
it.
trash.
Well,
I would rather the trash be in the can than not in the can. What do you want? What do you want here? I think it's totally fine.
Speaking as one without a bin, can I? Speaking as one without a bin, like you don't always know that there's going to be a bin that you can return to. As stupid as it sounds, like we have a dumpster that's outside of our building, but sometimes it's unavailable, and so like honestly, there are times where I'm panicking walking down the street with Benson's poop. Going like, how am I going to dispose of this? And then I'll see like half a mile down the road, there's a bin, and then we have to divert to go to the bin because like there's not like a ton of public trash cans that I could just throw dog poop into. So
I guess
I
like
don't know.
my issue is if you're walking your dog, you're likely nearby your residence. And if you're close enough, why not just have the poop and throw it out at your own trash can? Also, like, it's not like we're the only house in a 5-mile radius. Like, there's other houses, there's other trash cans, there's other trash bins, and for some reason ours filled with water was the one that
But were you
chose.
the last to bring your bin in? Maybe that's why.
I don't think so. It was
you
like
put
an
a target
hour
on your
after
back.
You might be a lazy bin bringer.
Yeah, you're a lazy bin bringer.
I do hate lazy bin bringers. I get really mad about that when I see people when it's like the next day and the bins are still out there. It's like, pick it up, just take it in. What's your problem?
I keep having the same problem where about once every 3 months, the bin truck will steal my bin, and then I don't have one for a week.
That seems wrong.
And I watch it on security get lifted up by the machine and just dropped into the bin, into the big truck, and then they just drive off with it every time. And I got to call up, be like, can I have my bin back? And they're like, yeah, I'll deliver you another one. You got to wait a week, so I got a week without a bin. Then it arrives, then it'll get nicked again. I'm sick of it. I need to chain them.
It's a fresh bin, though.
No,
that
it's
must
not
be
a
a
fresh
good
bin.
feeling.
It's someone else's gammy old bin who has
Yeah, they don't
died
really
or
make new
moved
ones.
or something. So you get like a more minging bin than you had before. This new one's got sludge in it.
So I've had my bin
This
taken,
barber's
like
old
you're talking
bin.
about before as well, Gavin.
Yeah, do you want my poo bin?
Some of my neighbors where I live, like they all have each other's. We can contact each other. I don't want to get into the specifics, but a couple of weeks ago, one of my neighbors contacted like a group of us that live in this area and was like, "Hey, my trash can's missing after trash day. Does anyone have it?" And in my mind, I'm like, "You idiot! It probably just got taken by the truck." And then like 3 minutes later, one of my other neighbors replied like, "Oh yeah, we've got it. The trash people left it at our place." Like, who the fuck had an extra bin and was like, "This is fine. I'm gonna keep it." Like they don't return it or just why did they just leave it out on the street? Why did they're like, "Oh, I guess I have an extra bin now. I'm gonna take it in with my regular trash." Like, and then I was so baffled at the thought process here.
Yeah, if I had an extra one, I would not wheel it in. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I interrupted you on that one. This happened. I've had a lot of garbage bin and recycle bin issues. One of which somehow our neighbor and us, our recycle bins got completely swapped at one point. Like I brought it in and realized it had like his address on it and not ours. And I was like, oh, how'd that happen? The problem is our neighbor throws out just everything not washed out, not rinsed out, like everything just into the bin, like empty beer bottles, empty containers and stuff like that. So it fucking reeks.
You're talking about recycling?
Yeah. The recycling bin. It's just full of gammy food and old beer, and it's terrible. And we had to like figure out how to heist our bin back. Like, do we wait until they're both out, come out right after the recycle truck comes, and swap them again? Because otherwise, it's such an awkward conversation. This is the same neighbor, by the way, who has the dog piss in their backyard.
It's all making sense now.
This is what it's like to be an adult.
I know.
Well, I was going to say, never has it been more obvious that times are tough.